Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, God, there went my battery. Hold on one second. What is going on?
I've walked through storms in scars and grace. Smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Let's go. Come on in.
Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is February 1st, 2026. It is 10:15 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Hope you are well wherever you are and warm. Um, Tonight we were talking about Jack and Lilly Sullivan. My battery on my camera just went dead as soon as I did, and I didn't have any other batteries, so I'm charging them right now. So this one will probably go dead too in a second. But we'll get it all together. We'll get it all together. Hey, Golden Pearl, good to see you. Miss Shelby, Sherry, Anastasia, Ruby, Wait, 1966, Sarah, Mal, good to see you. Joyce, hello, Mama. Not, good to see you. Uh, Jills, good to see you. Crazy Buck, hello. Carol, Brandy, always an Indy. Sherry, hello. Tina, Valerie, good to see you. Robin, hello. Christy, bonjour. Well, Autumn, good to see you. Hello, Miss Dolores. Thank you so much, Mama. Appreciate you very, very much for your support, my dear. Hi, Justin. I appreciate you and the pearls, not as much as we appreciate you, Miss Dolores. Thank you so much. Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully, you are doing well. And we got Jerry Lynn coming in with Miss Jerry Lynn. Appreciate you, dear. 11 months. Love being a member here. Well, Jerry Lynn, we appreciate you so much. And thank you so much for your continued support, my dear. Really, truly do appreciate that. So good to see you. And Miss Kelly, thank you so much, my dear, for gifting that pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sassy, I'm not sure if I got to that one or not. But I replied to a few of your emails, but I'm not sure if I got to that one or not. When did you email it? So tonight we're talking about Jack and Lilly Sullivan, and we are going to go over some things. I was digging through some things, and there was some text that I had actually never seen, and maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. We'll go through those tonight, and a whole lot more stuff. And first thing, oops, let me pull this up here. First thing that we're going to go through is I truly believe that uh, law enforcement, I do believe, my opinion, that this has pretty much been a suspicious case since pretty much day one. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Roxy, hello. Wild Angel, hello. And Major Crimes has been there since the day after Jack and Lily went missing, May 3rd, 2025. One thing that the RCMP will not answer, and in my opinion, it speaks volumes, and that is why Major Crimes is there, right? If this is not a criminal investigation, why is Major Crimes there? They don't answer that. They don't seem to answer that, which, in my opinion, that tells you exactly everything that you need to know. And tonight we're going to talk about a number of things. I don't even know if we'll get through it all. But, the RCMP has released documents, and I think it was leading up to July, the end of July. And they have said numerous things, that they do say that Daniel and Malaya passed a polygraph. However, kumbaya. If you look at what the documents say, right? The documents does say that it appears that they passed a polygraph. But just because someone passes a polygraph doesn't mean nothing happened. Okay? And if you look at that, just the other day when RCMP did an interview into speaking on the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case, they said they've always said that all options are on the table, right? All of the options are on the table. Well, that doesn't mean anybody is free or anything like that, right? And they just kind of wave that off. We're not ready to get into it yet or anything. And that's interesting to me. If, for instance, they really thought Daniel and Malaya had nothing to do with Jack and Lily's disappearance, wouldn't they say publicly they're cleared? Seriously, wouldn't they say publicly Jack and Lily are cleared? Not Jack and Lily. Daniel and Malaya are cleared. You would think, right? They did say that they passed a polygraph, but they didn't say that they were cleared on anything. They didn't say that they were cleared on anything. And like they did with Cody, yeah, they're not interested in Cody. That's for sure. Cody's kind of been out of the loop for a long time. And so we're going to talk about things like that and a lot more. But guys, if you would do me a big old favor and please hit that thumbs up button, would greatly, greatly appreciate that. If you would share the live out, hype the live afterwards, it would mean more than what I can ever tell you as well. So a few different things here. Cases shift and all of that. And like I said, with Jack and Lily's case, I really believe once they say that this is a criminal case, that's when the clock starts. And right now they have essentially all the time in the world, because I don't believe that they believe, in my opinion, that they believe that they're alive. In fact, they stated it in one of their press conferences that they did not believe Jack and Lily are alive. Even though Daniel says he believes they're alive, the actions and of the parents, or the mother and the stepfather, have said the absolute complete opposite of this, right? And so we're going to get in to some of this. Okay. Few things before, and also one of the reasons why they don't say something is criminal many times is because they want the parents to talk. They want them to talk, because the moment you say this is criminal as well, people shut up. They lawyer up as well. And that's another reasons as well. Okay. What's that? Okay. Okay, so let's get on with this. I want to show you this before we get into the deep. Oh no, I need to show you this actually before we get started. Something totally different. Let me. Did I download it? Okay. It's unrelated, but it's a story that I want to just tell you guys real quick, because there's not a lot out about it yet, but every child matters. Jonathan Scadi- Scadibo, he is a missing child, 6 years old, and he is from the 28,000 block of Hale Street in Madison Heights, Michigan. And he is nonverbal, 6-year-old autistic child. Jonathan enjoys the cold, according to this flyer, and often hides in chilly, dark spots and is fascinated by things that spin. He was last wearing a blue and black winter coat with matching boots. Anyone with information should contact the Madison Heights Police Department right away. 248 585 2100. 248 585 2100. And I believe he just went missing today or maybe yesterday. Yeah. Yep. So I wanted to bring that by you guys. There's really not enough out on it right now there's really not anything out on it right now. But this is about 2 minutes. I want to show you this before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's live, and listen to this. Maybe. Here we go.
Case are raising questions about the relationship between the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and stepfather, Daniel Martel. Filed to support search warrant applications for the case, the documents lay out Brooks Murray's and Martel's responses to investigators' questions. When asked if Martel was ever physically abusive in their relationship, Brooks Murray...
Wait, I just now noticed that. What's up with the foil on the windows? Daniel. Oh, I know what that's for. Never mind. That's for easy access for Daniel when he's in the bathroom. He can just pull off that foil and smoke it right there. There you go. Never mind. Should have known. Don Wells had the same thing on his window. Never mind. Sorry.
When asked if Martel was ever physically abusive in their relationship, Brooks Murray said he would, quote, try to block her, hold her down, and once pushed her. She said he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Brooks Murray declined Global News' request for comment.
Have you ever tried to block Malaya, hold her down, or push her?
No, all those allegations are false. And as he said, it was just to paint me in a bad light. That's basically why there's all of those allegations of abuse came out. I never have physically abused Malaya.
Now, this is interesting to me because, like I said, this came out right before the charges came out. And he just literally walked right into it. The radio waves are getting DM. Must be those drones. Janie's looking out for at night, she says.
Martel says he approved of these redactions being lifted, adding not much has changed when it comes to his public reputation.
I've been, trying to keep the public up to date as much as possible. My image hasn't changed at all. It was always Daniel's evil, Daniel's a monster. And
yeah, I agree with that.
With that painted narrative, the public automatically will just jump to the belief of guilt.
He says he provided his DNA to run forensics on...
What's interesting is this Bediad right here. What's interesting is Daniel says that's the narrative. Hey, Lita Live, good to see you, honey. Haven't seen you in a while. And he says this is the narrative. Well, it's very interesting because it seems like the RCMP agrees with this narrative, Daniel, except it's not a narrative. It's something that they are going to prove in court that they believe and they say that they can prove it, obviously, because they're charging you with it. You did these things to Miss Malaya. Now, I don't know about you, but in my opinion, it's not a far stretch having I know of 3 women that Daniel has allegedly laid his hands on. 2 of them that I have spoken to. One is allegedly Malaya, right? And it's not that far of a stretch to think that this smoking meth head right here, who is abusive to women, would be abusive to children. In fact, his own children said that he was abusive to Jack and Lily. Why is that so hard to get? I don't know. Don't know.
On Lily's blanket, which was found in the woods by family members on May 2nd.
They didn't need a warrant to have my DNA, so I was willing to do it. I watched them sign on the consent form, no criminal involvement in the case of Lily and Jack. So it was nice to see that, that box checked for no criminal involvement. I signed my name on the consent sheet.
The disappearance of the Sullivan siblings is still being treated as a missing persons investigation, despite the involvement of major crimes.
But when they do have a suspect...
Did you hear that? Do you hear that right there? This is still under the Missing Persons Act, right? I don't disagree with that. Despite the involvement of major crimes, which again, RCMP will not explain that. Now, tell me something. Why would major crimes be involved in something so many months later and you can't clear the parents? You can't clear the parents? And you can't explain yourself why major crimes is there? Absolutely, Ninji. And very good point. Good to see you. Absolutely. 50% of users in IP abuse are also abusive to children. Yep. Where did the gravel come from, Daniel, that Janie was raking up? Has someone recently had a gravel driveway laid? They've done something to the driveway, yes, recently.
And
I think it was in the fall.
Dive into investigating that suspect or group of individuals, then it will pivot to a criminal investigation at that point.
Listen. Shit, what'd I do? 1 second. Listen to that again.
The narrative, the public to do it. I watched them sign on the consent form, painted narrative.
Adding, not much has changed when it comes to his public reputation.
I've been, trying to keep the public up to date as much as possible. My image hasn't changed at all. It was always Daniel's evil, Daniel's a monster. And with that painted narrative, the public automatically will just jump to the belief of guilt.
He says he provided his DNA to run forensics on Lily's blanket, which was found in the woods by family members on May 2nd.
They didn't need a warrant to have my DNA, so I was willing to do it. I watched them sign on the consent form, no criminal involvement in the case of Lily and Jack. So
he stutters when he lies.
It was nice to see that, that box checked for no criminal involvement. I signed my name on the consent sheet.
Sure.
The disappearance of the Sullivan siblings is still being treated as a missing persons investigation, despite the involvement of major crimes.
But when they do have a suspect and they dive into investigating that suspect or group of individuals, then it will pivot to a criminal investigation at that point.
Yeah, it'll pivot to a criminal investigation at that point. Daniel, um, I believe you already know this has pivoted, don't you, brother? Don't you, brother? Because the RCMP aren't as nice anymore, do they? Are they, Daniel? They're just not as nice as they used to be. And I think that changed once the dogs got there. This past what was it when they was there? Not too was it October, November, or something like that? Hmm. I think that's when it started pivoting, and I think that's the reason you said that as well. Okay, send an email. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. That is so Daniel, Deborah. Absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah, Sassy. I saw that one. I saw that email. Thank you, baby. Okay, thank you, Miss Deborah, as well. Guys, hit that thumbs up button if you're just joining us. A few things that I was going through that I want to discuss that I don't know if I've seen some of these or not, but a few things that I want to go over here. Bear with me as I find which one I'm looking for. Okay. Was invited into the property of Daniel. Okay. Searching for the spaces. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I apologize. Came out of the woods and said they found a pink blanket. Okay, it might have been the other one. Okay. Okay, so this is a few things related to the things that they search. Daniel is nervous now. He is not looking so good. He knows his lies are catching up with him. He does, Donna. Not only that, um if he thought for any second that his lies weren't catching up to him, in my opinion, he would still be out here regardless, speaking on Jack and Lily, because that's what people do. That's what people do, right? Hey, Mama's the bomb. Good to see you, Caroline. Hello. But he's very quiet for a reason. Very quiet for a reason. And to be honest with you, I don't blame him for being quiet. I do not blame him. But if he was actually, gave a shit about Jack and Lily rather than himself, he would be out here speaking on them as well. Okay. Malaya did not give her phone until May 6th. At 9:20 a.m., Malaya gave her phone to McIntyre. After they went through the consent form, Malaya signed the form. It allowed for a complete imaging of all data and information contained on her phone. At 11:22 a.m., McIntyre gave Malaya's phone to forensic analysis and the RCMP Digital Forensic Services in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Okay, so 4 days after Jack and Lily went missing, they gave their phone. To me, that was way too long. I do believe that they kind of fumbled in the beginning, but 4 days is quite a long time to me, in my opinion. They should have had that a lot sooner. But Daniel did not give his phone until May 7th at 9:47 a.m. Daniel gave his phone to McIntyre after they went through the consent form. Daniel signed the form. It allowed for the complete imaging of all data and information contained on the phone, right? Now, McIntyre gave, Daniel's phone to the forensic analysis and the RCMP, all of that. McIntyre returned Malea's phone on May 7th at 11:13 a.m. and Daniel's phone on May 9th at 16:35 p.m. On May 9th, McIntyre received the information back from the RCMP DFS on USB and provided it to the investigative team. Provided that to the investigative team. Cool. On May 16th, I had a conversation with Matthew, and the images on the phones, the following are the details of such. Matthew said the images on the phones were received from DFS and secured by the file coordinator. They were not reviewed. Okay. Now, are they saying here that by the 16th, they had not even got to review them yet? By the 16th of May. Yeah. Yeah. Hope he learned that. He learned it the hard way, Wolfie. He learned it the hard way. Because that's what it sounds like to me right here. On May 16th, I had a conversation with Corporal Matthew, and the images, about the images on the phone, the following is the details of such. Matthew said the images of the phone were received from DFS and secured by the file coordinator, but they were not reviewed. Forensic analysis with DFS imaged Matthew and Daniel's phones and provided some context on search perimeters. The following is a summary, which I believe it is redacted. Now, yes, images, but what's interesting here is they context on search perimeters. Why would they be searching perimeters of where their phones have been if, there are these innocent people who have no idea, that just went to bed and woke up and heard the kids and then dozed off and the kids left? Bingo. Bingo. Yes, Miss Brandy. Location, location, location. Now, Daniel admitted that he did not take his phone that day, right? But I don't believe he took his phone that night either. Got to be getting close. This feels like waiting for season 5 of Stranger Things. Oh, Billy, it does seem like it takes forever sometimes. It does. So I find that interesting. Phones and provided some context on search perimeters. The following is a summary, okay? I reviewed the task action report with ID, so dated May 10th. These are the footnotes. On May 16th, 2025, I had a conversation with Matthew on the phone, and it had not been reviewed. On May 15th, I had a conversation with, I think it's Giles or Gilles. He provided me with information on the phone images. On May 6, 2025, March and imaged Malea's phone. On May 8th, March and, there went my battery. 1 second, guys. 2 seconds. I'm going to switch my battery. Give me 1 second. One second, y'all. Almost there. Okay. Okay. Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can't you see me? Hold on. I need to go right back out and come right back in. I apologize. Okay, so sorry about that. Justin went MIA, I know, but I am back and better than ever, baby. Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Share this live out. Become a member of the Pearl family. We would love to have you. One mistake and it's a no-go. What's that mean? Justin, did they take Janie's telephone? Good question. That's a good question. I can't remember that. Does anyone know if they took Janie's telephone? Very good question. Okay, honey, I'll look at it in just a minute. Okay, so May 8th, 2025, that is when they imaged Daniel's phone. Complete images of phones was taken. He requested that I sent him the order once authorized, and he would use the phone's images and has the DFS to make another report with just the time frames specified in the order and give it to investigators on a USB. It will not take long to do this because the timeline is short. He can do it this weekend or early next week. Joyce, do you know if they took Janie's phone? I cannot remember. It would be in the docs. It is in the docs somewhere, but I just can't remember. There's a lot. A lot. Okay. Here we go. So the words there are very interesting to me. The words there. And then he says, I had a conversation with Spears regarding the management of tips received on this file. I learned the following. Spears is managing all the tips that received and reviewing them as they come in. He said there's been 206 tips in the investigation so far. The tips include information has been provided anonymously. And none of these have led to Jack and Lily's location, all of that. Okay. Let me see here. on May 6th and May 8th, respectively, in accordance with authorization of Malay and Daniel's phone. Merchant will produce a report containing the items sought. If found, investigators will not be given access to the rest of the contents of the devices that are not authorized to be released in the record access order. And it says, I have reasonable grounds to believe that the record sought will afford information concerning the missing person and assist in locating the missing person. Now, my question is, if Daniel and Malaya were sleeping in bed all night, right? Nothing to see here, dozing in and out. How would Daniel and Malaya's phone help find Jack and Lily if this was not a criminal investigation? Now, not a public criminal investigation, but I do believe there is a private investigation going on, right? I have reasonable grounds to believe that the record sought will afford information concerning the missing person, Jack and Lily persons, and assist in locating the missing persons, Jack and Lily. I have considered whether the examination can be limited to examining stored data relating only to a specified date range. As such, I am proposing the following examination parameters. Mhm. Mhm. Well, I'm thinking about Janie's phone because the two neighbors saw two different cars. One definitely would be Daniel. Bingo. Bingo. There we go. Didn't take JJ's phone. What about the app? What do you mean, Wolfie? The app. The app. So I thought that was very, very interesting. And they're looking for the following stored data: electronic communication, audio, web browsing history, programs, logs, applications, data, telephone, other electronic communication, records, including without limiting to generality of the foregoing records related to signals from a wireless device, cell phone records, inbound and outbound text messages, records, and internet browsing history records, location data, global positioning tracking, and devices. I am asking for a limiting date range. Listen to this. Listen to this. Between May 1st, 2025 at 2:25 p.m. 2:25 p.m. Which is before they were home, right? They were at, going around all that, the Dolaramas, right? They were at the Dollarama getting Janie's baked bean douche in a lawn chair, getting her, all the things that Miss Janie needs. Absolutely. And they have to be very specific. But with this recent arrest that they did, they will be able to get even broader and look at more broadly as well. Getting a cigarettes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. May 1st, 2025 at 2:25 p.m. and May 2nd at 2025 at around 10:27 a.m. Now, just like I said in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, missing 15-year-old boy out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, they don't care after Jack and Lily goes missing. Once the police are there, they don't need anything after that because they're there, right? And it just so happens that police get there around 10:27 on May 2nd, right? And so this should be, um, look at the Sebastian Rogers case because, like Chris, the stepfather of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, he says they were asking him about his device that afternoon after he got home. Well, no, they don't care about that. Just like they don't care in Jack and Lily's case. After 10:27 a.m., it's done. You've done called 911. Whatever happened to them happened to them already. So they're not going to be looking past that because if there is a crime, it's already been committed. You've already called 911. Okay. So May 2nd, 2025 at 10:27 a.m. This date range is based on the last time Jack and Lily were seen on video surveillance at the Dollarama and the time police arrived after being called to the missing persons report. See? The time frame will allow investigators to independently verify Malaya and Daniel's statements and obtain any further information that they may have overlooked in their conversation with police. Such a polite way to put that. Mainly, we'll know if their asses are lying or not, right? Or if they forgot something, of course. Right? So, very, very interesting on that, if you ask me. However, I'm proposing that the limiting date range does not apply in the following categories of data: stored, dated, related to address book, records. I can't see, it's so small. Containing contact or identification information, passwords, encryption keys needed to access any of the data set out in paragraph 46, data relating to ownership, possession, access, use, or control of the device or its data, and relating to any configuration, device system, all that stuff. Okay. All right. So that's another little interesting tidbit I thought there. They're logs such as call logs, chat logs, email logs will show investigators who Malaya and Daniel were in contact with prior to Jack and Lily going missing and verify the information they have provided to police. Interesting. Location data and various sourcing, including global positioning system, cell phone tower location, and file metadata, can tell investigators the historical location of the device. Location data is important because it will also help to ensure the timeline of events provided by Malaya and Daniel is correct. In addition, it may identify locations which was overlooked by Malaya and Daniel. Wink, nod. When they provided their statements and provided further avenues of investigation. Okay. How interesting, right? So, a few things. I hate this horrible, but I get great Northeaster. Is my screen frozen? Is my screen frozen? I don't know if my screen is frozen. Not frozen now. I do freeze. Okay. All right. Okay. We're good. So let me just see here. Okay. So now we're going to go through some of the details here of what Daniel and Malaya said about some phones issue, because you'll notice that every little thing that Daniel and Malaya say about the phones is interesting, right? Is very interesting, because they either deleted the app, they didn't take the phone, they took it, thing like they took it, what was the word? They took it, they didn't take it that day, but they took it the day before they went missing. They took it the day after they went missing. They deleted the app, all of that. Jimmy Sue, oh my God. Oh my God. That is what? That is so generous. You have a monkey? You have a monkey? That's going to make me cry. Wow. Justin, I was wondering about the plastic on Janie's camper. Did you ever notice it? To me, it looked bumpy. I wondered if the police looked under it. Yes, Jimmy Sue. I also wonder, can the dogs smell on roofs from the ground? Now, that's a good question. I don't know about the second one. Thank you so much, Jimmy Sue. I don't even know what to say. That is, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Oh my God. And I didn't know you had a monkey. You got a little capuchin. Okay. So let me show you something, Jimmy Sue. Yes, that is, I don't even know what to say. You work your ass off, Justin. Thank you, Sam. I give it all I got. Thank you, honey. Wow. So it's interesting you said that, because I want to show you something here. Let me find it. I'm just a little shook up right now. They talk about, okay, looking under the trailer. Okay. On May 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m., he was invited into the property by Daniel. Hayes flew under RPAS, under, I guess that's the drone or some camera, under the trailer with the assistance of the lights on the RPAS, was able to view the majority of the front and rear of the space below the trailer on the left side. On the left side. The furthest space to the rear of the trailer could not be checked fully due to the hanging insulation. He checked the right side and estimated he was able to see about 2/3 of the right underside of the trailer on the ground was sloped, and the RPAS could not fit in the remaining space. So technically, they tried to check all of it. They couldn't get in all of it because they were essentially the insulation was down. But you're talking about Janie's, right? And I can pull up a picture on that. Maybe. You were saying it what looked like bumpy? Like the now they what was it? They looked underneath. Joyous, do you or anybody in chat, Brandy, anybody, do y'all remember, or Brenda, if you're here in the bushes, they looked underneath Janie's place one day. Let me see here if I've got it. Now the thing about like the roof, as far as like an air scent, I would think that the dog would be able to get an air scent like that. I don't remember them looking under Janie's, just Daniel's. Sorry. Okay. I believe hers was checked. I think that they checked underneath of it after they were fighting with Janie, allegedly with looking inside of it. JJ, yes. It was cold, remember? Yes. That's it. Yes, exactly, Wolfie. No, but they came back the next day for underneath the trailer, in my opinion. They also, when they were there the last time they were there, I know that they looked underneath of the trailer as well. You know what I mean? The real Norbeaster, get bent, Daniel, you monster. You deserve it. He's something. He's something. He really is. He really is. Okay, I've got heartburn. All right, so let's which one do I have pulled up? Okay. So we're going to look at some of the things before we go to these documents. We're going to look at a few of Daniel's words, and some of these I have not seen. Thank you, Mom, is the bomb. Thank you, honey. Of some of these I have not seen before. A few of these messages. We've seen this one, but I want to go over it. They ask, what is your estimated time of the 911 call? That was the last thing I want to know for now. They were asking. Daniel says it was done with Wi-Fi calling. And this is interesting. Listen to the words. Investigators asked for that number, a week ago. So Malaya didn't tell them she called with Wi-Fi, I guess. Well, it doesn't matter. Even if you call with Wi-Fi, there is a number. Where did the bags of dirty diapers under the... That was a different house, Ratui. That was a different house, honey. That was, I believe, when she was with Daniel's, or when Malaya was with Jack and Lily's dad. Yeah, when she was with Cody. Yeah. Yeah. So Daniel says again here, I'm just going to read this. It was done, meaning the 911 call, he says was done with Wi-Fi calling. And investigators asked for that number a week ago. Well, Malaya said the Wi-Fi was turned off. She had to turn the Wi-Fi off. Daniel says it was called with Wi-Fi. Malaya says that she couldn't call Wi-Fi with that app. And that's true. You can't call with that app. You can call 911 through your phone's Wi-Fi calling, but not through that app's Wi-Fi calling. Investigators asked for that number a week ago. So Malaya didn't tell them. She called with Wi-Fi, I guess. Excuse me. And she called 911 at approximately 10:01. Yes, that's what she stated. And this is what Daniel and Daniel says, you know, we know that she called it around 10:01, right? But Daniel says until you see the screenshot of, you know, Malaya calling 911, don't believe it. Well, right here it is. Here's the actual screenshot, 10:01. Right? Okay. Second thing about the night prior. Okay. Like I've said, Daniel knows what all they did that day, right? He can remember before. He can remember all through May 1st, what happened that morning, that afternoon, all of that, until he gets ready to go inside, which is when something gets ready to happen. He can remember after Jack and Lily went missing. He can even remember him putting his phone, on the dresser and leaving the phone there, right? He can remember Malaya has 2 keys, right? But can't remember anything else. So they asked, what would you estimate around 8 p.m. or so, that time in May, it would be getting dark? Daniel says, I'm not sure, but it was getting dark when he goes inside. Yeah, probably, Daniel says, but I flicked the light on. Okay, this is where he's talking about midnight. Listen to this. Yeah, probably. I flicked the light on in the kids' room around midnight, and he means both were sleeping. Both were sleeping. Something happened around midnight, whether this is when everything hit the fan, or this is when they got ready to move the kids, in my opinion. Because Malaya tells family that she wakes up around midnight. And this is when Daniel is doing rugs in the bathroom. Daniel says he's up later into the night. It's later before he goes to bed, but he checks on the kids. I don't see Daniel ever checking on Jack and Lily at nighttime. I just don't. Text Plus specifically does not allow 911 calls, if that's what you mean. She could use normal cell tower reception in one of the trailer windows at the end of the driveway. Yes. So Text Plus definitely does not allow 911 calls. Malaya says she was in the corner of the trailer, that it'll pick up on a specific corner. Janie says no, it doesn't. But we were told that Malaya was standing out in front of Janie's trailer. We were told Malaya was standing out, next to the driveway to the road. We were told Malaya was in the corner of a trailer calling 911. So who knows? Who knows? Right. Okay. So Daniel says, it's sad to say, but this is the last time that he saw Jack or Lily. Okay. Here he talks about, I was outside with mom working on the fence. Malaya was with Lily and Jack inside, and Meadow, of course. I'll say this. No one knows but investigators. We got food at, I don't even know how you pronounce this. Acropolis, fuck that up, in Westville, and I think, and got home before 4. Oh, okay. Sorry. He spelled it wrong that time. Okay. But they got home before 4. He does a correction down here. They got home before 4. He remembers that time. Can't remember what time he went inside. Can't remember what time he went to bed. Anything else. What are the coming up and now? Does she have a name? I don't know what that means, but okay. Now, Daniel says here, one thing that Malaya and Daniel agree upon is that Malaya went to bed first. Any phone will call 911. Yes, that is true. Any phone will call 911. But there is a misinformation with a lot of the public that there has to be service. Now, it has to be at least 2G service, which is not a lot. 2G was from the 90s. In fact, I think they will be doing, if they haven't done away with it, they will be doing away with 2G service this year, if they haven't already. But it's not a lot of service, but there still has to be some connection. It's not like you call 911, you're in the middle of the Amazon, for instance, and this, it just bounces up to this cell tower in space. It just doesn't work that. Everyone has 2G or better, right? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, if you don't got service, you don't got service. So, but yeah, most people have 5G now, at least 4G. But the one thing that they can't agree on is Malaya was in bed first. And Daniel says, Malaya was in bed before me. And they ask, what time did you go to bed, Daniel, right? He says after 12, but not sure what time. He's not sure what time he went to bed that night. Well, I can just about tell you around about time I go to bed every single night. Around about time. And it's not the same every single night, that's for sure. It's not the same every single night. Okay. So you were sleeping, and the next thing at 6:17 or 6:18, the kids were called in. Daniel says, I wasn't up when they were marked absent. Then he says, Lilly woke me up. Lilly woke Daniel up? What do you mean? How can Daniel be woken up by Lilly when he says he wasn't even remotely even close to being asleep? That means he didn't go to sleep. Yeah, I don't believe exactly, Sandwich. I don't believe that motherfucker went to sleep 1 second that night. He was not in a deep sleep whatsoever. Bingo. Bingo. Janie said Jack went in at 10 p.m. Boy, that's really late for a sick kid, isn't it? That's really late. 10 p.m. for a sick kid that's been off for 2 days. And if he went in at 10 p.m., that means shit hit the fan between 10 and midnight. One or the other. Oh, there was no bath. They were not even changed. They weren't even changed. Right? When I call 911, it doesn't get answered in Canada. I don't know what you mean. I called 911 with a wreck one time and they told me to hold on. Swear to God. 911, hold on 1 second, please. Please hold. I was like, okay. Oh, there's a wreck right here. I need to kind of tell you. So they did put me on hold. But anyway, he says, Lilly woke me up. And then he says, they went to sleep in their clothes, but I can't say more than that because listen to this. Daniel says, I can't tell you anymore. Then they went to sleep in their clothes because I brought forward evidence that I can't talk about. First of all, let me tell you what a dummy he is. Daniel, it would not be evidence unless someone is hiding something, right? Unless, Malaya was hiding something or whatever. And you said Malaya went to bed before you. Okay. Evidence is used in a criminal matter. Yes. You good, Jimmy Sue. In my opinion, everything he says was fabricated. 1 minute, the kids are sick. The next, they were hyper. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Here we go. Watch this. So he says, more than that, because I brought forward evidence that I can't talk about. Do the kids sleep in the same bedroom or do they have their own beds? Same bedroom, light is by the door. Same bedroom, light is by the door. Okay, the next thing is, what time did you and Malaya go to bed? And I don't have that one. I don't think. He says the next question is, when you come in from outside, were the kids already in bed? Well. Okay, so he says, yes, the kids are in bed. Well, that can't be. That can't be. Right? Because he, meaning Daniel, says he goes in at dark. Right? At dark. You know that little section there is dark as can be at night. Right? There's nobody in the area. Right? And so there's that. How can he be inside at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock max, whenever the kids did not go to bed until after 10 o'clock that night? Other interviews, Daniel says he doesn't, he didn't, he couldn't remember if the kids were in bed or not. He didn't remember seeing the kids. I was wondering about the wall Daniel had put up between the kids. Well, why would he do that? Well, I can tell you, Sharon, why he would do that. Actually, Malaya mentions it in the RCMP documents. The reason and seriously, this is the reason why Malaya said they did it. Because if they didn't do it, Jack and Lily would stay up all night to separate them. 3-bedroom trailer. Meadow shares a room with the Daniel and Malaya. Jack and Lily share a room, and this third bedroom allegedly is his other children's. No way. No way. Right? Okay. Here we go. So he says, okay, so then at 12 o'clock when you went through the bathroom and turned the kids' bedroom's light on. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't realize this one. So, okay, so at 12 o'clock when, this is interesting. I never looked at this one, really. I just caught something. Now, this is someone else talking, but obviously you can get the context by what they're saying above. Okay, so then at 12 o'clock, when you went to the bathroom, well, that's very interesting because what did we hear about Malaya saying Daniel was in the bathroom doing the math at midnight? Daniel is telling them here that at midnight, he gets up and goes to the bathroom. And this is when he sees Jack and Lily. What's that? Fuck at 88. There's got to be a good reason for him. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that interesting? Yes. Malaya told her family members that she woke up at midnight and that Daniel was in the bathroom doing the math. Daniel tells this person here that at 12 o'clock, Daniel goes to the bathroom and he turns on the kid's light, and they're asking, what did you see? So that tells us right there, something was going on at midnight. That overlaps, right? That's multiple sources coming to us about the same time frame. Very interesting, if you ask me. Just caught that. In my opinion, M left the kids dressed and left the clean laundry bags in her car because she was going to leave with the kids that night after Dee fell asleep. I don't know if it was still in their car though, but it could be. I think there was a fight about money that night. I think they had been to some stores all that day and all that, and they had grandma's credit card. I think Malaya had just came back after being gone quite a while from with Easter, and it just went over. All right, now I had not seen these right here. This is, again, Daniel talking. They are loud kids. That's how I know someone they knew from Malaya's side of the family took them. This is Daniel talking. Again. Oh, thank you so much, fuck it. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. So how does Mr. Daniel? Yeah, I had not seen these. I'm not sure if any of you guys had seen these or not, but I've got some more that I'm going to show you. One second, yeah. All right, Sassy, I just got your email, honey. Okay. Justin, did you happen to catch Dr. Drew talked a math death? It's a psychosis. He was talking about a case. Let me tell you something. Math is the most violent drug that there is. It's the most violent one that there is. And it's the one that people, right? When people are on the H or the Finney, right? They go down, right? They're not amped up, ready to fight, rageful or anything. It's like the stimulants that make people go into psychosis and stuff. Right? It's the math. Right? Coca-Cola won't generally, I mean, it is a stimulant, but you don't hear people like that. It's like the math and like the crocodile stuff. Those things. But Daniel says here the kids they're loud kids. That's how I know someone they knew from Malaya's side of the family took them. He knows that. Now listen to this, guys. Because we were talking about, I was talking about the other night, Janie said her dog barked when Jack and Lily was outside. It's a lot more purified. Yeah. You don't get the Dorino and shit in it. Like, yeah. But Janie said the dog barked at Jack and Lily, and that's what woke her up, right? But Daniel says here, the dog did bark, but very briefly. I'm guessing. Then he says, I'm guessing whoever told them may have said to shh, don't be loud. Now that's very creepy if you ask me. That's very creepy for Daniel to say that. First of all, he doesn't know the dog barked if he was in and out of sleep because he didn't hear anything, right? And how would he know that someone told them to shh, don't be loud to Jack and Lily? I believe they're alive. And Malaya knows who drove them off the property. Again, this was Daniel and Janie and Durwood's little narrative in the beginning, right? That Malaya was out there next to the road in this dark vehicle. In this dark vehicle, right? But Daniel says Malaya knows. Daniel says she will go as long as she can, but will crack after her mental health is put to the test with exams. Daniel says, I'm saying too much. She was going to break that day. That's why she made the mistake with Meadow. I think he means by exams, he means interviews. Yeah. Right. For that. Okay. So then he says, so she was going to break that day. That's why she made the mistake with Meadow. And then, yeah, we know him. He's Malaya's family, my kids. Yes, great with mine. She was saying Malaya's great with his kids. It's ruining all of the province's faith. When it comes to Janie, when a polygraph examiner says your physiology is not suitable for the analysis, it means factors like being under the influence of alcohol or drugs, being overly anxious, or having certain medical conditions are interfering with the test ability to collect and interpret reliable physiological data. The examiner cannot use the results if they are not confident the readings are accurate and not influenced by external or uncontrollable factors. And remember, they took Daniel's polygraph, and he says he has done math for every single day for years. His words, not mine. Showed you the text. Daniel, can you please tell what Jack and Lily were wearing? Can you please tell us what you, Daniel, were wearing? Can you please tell us, Daniel, what you believe Jack and Lily were wearing? But then Daniel says what he was wearing. I wore both during the search. Navy blue one first night and white one the second day. That's what he was wearing. There was a question above it, what he was wearing. I really wonder, and I really believe that these are one of the things that was likely burned in the stove that night. I really believe that. And I believe he can't produce those now. But they want to know what Jack and Lily was wearing as well. And this is the only time I've heard a parent say this. I can't tell you because that's part of the investigation on the clothes they wore. That is the most basic. That is the most basic question that investigators, or that is the most basic answer that investigators are going to want to tell you. Right? That is nothing ever that they keep secret is what they were wearing. Right? I never saw Daniel in a white shirt. Me either. What happened to the stuff Daniel was wearing? Well, I think it went in the stove 101 is what I think happened to it. On the clothes they were wearing. The kids. Yeah, the kids. It was a normal day for me, but she had different plans. Now, that right there is very interesting to me. It was a normal day for Daniel, he said. But she had different plans. Now, Daniel said he couldn't remember that evening. But if he can't remember that evening, how would he know Malaya had different plans? Number one. Remember, Daniel says it, investigators want to know what he was doing Thursday night. His words, we believe you did something to the kids Thursday night. That is what he said the RCMP told him. Daniel, we believe you did something to the kids Thursday night. Now, why does he say this? It was a normal day for me, but meaning Malaya, she had different plans. That tells me something really bad happened right there. Really, really bad happened in that house that night. It is normal to him. It is normal to him. But he knows she had different plans. But he says it was a normal day. Got it, Daniel. Then he says they don't have on what we think they had on. I'll leave it there. Let me tell you something. This data that law enforcement has from his phone, they have this right here. If Jack and Lily don't have on what Daniel and Malaya said they had on, this right here is going to eat his ass up later. Because You're just saying, I can't tell you what they have on, but they don't have on what we're telling you they had on. And I'm just going to leave it there. Squid. Ironclad. That's what Durwood says. That's what he says. I'm telling you, it's ironclad. So, oh damn, what happened? 1 second. Okay. I'm playing with fire, speaking out, he says. Then he says, my mom was napping and came outside. She heard me yelling that morning for the kids. Malaya was playing on her phone. Mom came out. Malaya was playing on her phone. Mom came out and she said, okay, first of all, Malaya was playing on her phone. That's a problem. Donna, I haven't. That's kind of a rumor that's going around. RCMP hasn't said anything about blood, but I will say that there may be blood found somewhere, but they haven't said that. No, I want to make that clear. Oh, there may be creators that's saying, "Oh my God, they found blood." I'm here to tell you, they have not said that they found blood. Okay. Hey, Yvette. Good to see you, honey. Mom was napping and came outside because she heard me yelling that morning for the kids. Malaya was playing on her phone. Mom came out and said Malaya had a look of worry on her eyes that mom was home. No tears. She wasn't scared the kids were gone, just a look of worry that she got caught for something wrong. She never yelled once for the kids' names, trying to find them. Mom said she acted odd. Then he says, I ran through streams up to my waist many times. I could have slipped on a wet rock, hit my head, and died, or fall on a stick or branch and get impaled and die. I did it for the kids, and the world will never see that. Why don't you be a little bit more of a drama queen, Daniel? Right? I had never seen these texts before. Daniel says here, I took Malaya from trauma to a good life. I took Malaya from trauma to a good life. They're not going to release that information. No, they're not. Mm-mm. You mean, Daniel, everything that is around you is they leave with trauma. They leave with trauma, right? I mean, what? She lived, I mean, it's kind of like Reba McEntire's Fancy. Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. But except she never got out of uh the ghetto thing there, right? She stayed in it and lost her children. That's all I gave her. Yeah, me too. One of my favorite singers, actually. Her mother hated me. Now listen to this, because she was happy with me. Most parents don't hate someone that is good to your kid, treats them well, takes care of them and their kids. No. But Daniel says, I can only, I don't blame Cindy. Her mother, listen to this, seized her phone and probably has her car keys. What does that mean? What's with these damn car keys in her car? What is with this? No, she didn't Mohawk. Not at all. Not at all. Her mother seized her phone and probably her car keys. I know this because when my cousin called her phone on private number, her mom picked up and said, Malaya's phone. Who is this? Well, that what does that have to do with her car keys then? Oh, of course you would have. Yes, Deborah. Absolutely. Exactly, bugs. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's correct. He's still talking about Malaya's mom. She is a psychopath. I know this because she displays the traits, and I was only waiting for one trait to be exposed, and that is no empathy. And I've finally seen it on full display when she never shed a tear the day of the disappearance. It's effing beyond sad. My heart breaks for Malaya. The commander of the search and rescue told me privately that they give me more details and more time for briefings during every day of the, I think it says the search. Sorry, of the disappearance. It's fucking, okay, sorry, here it is. Give me more, okay. The commander of the search and rescue told me privately that they give me more details and more time for briefings during every day of the searches. He told me he sees me as the primary caregiver of Lily and Jack. I wish I had a laughing button. I swear I wish I had a laughing button. Because that's more it.
Oh my God!
He is dumb as hell. If they said that we see you as a primary caregiver, Daniel, it was probably to get you to talk more. Get you to talk more. Because they want info from you, dummy. Exactly. So fucking dumb. Her briefings are only over the phone for a couple minutes, Daniel says. Daniel, this is the thing. I think because Daniel thinks they talk to him more, that's a good thing. Oh, that's a good one. What's up? I'm going to get that right now. Hold on. Laughing hyena. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to get a laughing hyena sound effect. Is this it? Here we go. Well, that's kind of a dog sound. I don't know if that's the laughing hyena one I wanted, but 1 second here. One second. God, some of these are they kind of sound like a wolf. Some of them do. I wanted kind of like a cartoon laughing hyena. Let me see here. Oh wait, 1 second here. That's not it. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Daniel doesn't obviously they're talking to him more and he thinks that's a good thing. Well, it's because they're trying to get information from you. What's this one? I'm not sure if that's the one I wanted either. That's still not it. It's hard to find it while you're live, but there's a couple more. But anyway, moving on. He's about as a hyena is more intelligent than Daniel. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it'll copyright me though if I do the Lion King laughing hyena. Like the chicken cackling's kind of funny too. You know what I mean? Anyway. Okay. Her mother has something over her head of some kind. After her and her mother talked, Malaya was not the same. She was scared, no eye contact. Now, listen to this. This is Daniel writing something. I will add more info to the story. We lived in Truro. We moved so she could get away from her mother. Malaya couldn't stand being around her anymore. Malaya asked me many times recently in the last few months if she should cut off her mother from her life. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. I believe you woke the bugs. Oops, sorry. I don't believe that for a second. I believe Malaya Daniel told Malaya to cut off your mom over and over and over and over again. Anyway, I always said, no, that's your mother. Lily always tried to take her backpack outside because it was her play backpack. My other daughter, which is 8, taught her to do that when the kids would play treasure hunt outside. Okay. Malaya put Lily and Jack on the back burner when Meadow was born. I taught Lily and Jack everything from potty training, I remember this now, getting Luthers from their mouths. What is Luthers from their mouths? Is that like the cough drop? I did everything for them. Lily and Jack called me dad and came for me for everything. Never Malaya. Now listen to this. Daniel says this all the time. She had no control over the kids. They were wild with her and me. They listened and were well behaved. I wonder why, Daniel. I wonder why. Did you, I don't know, abuse them? Jack was 4 years old and selling pull-ups. Yeah. Night, Joyous. Love you, baby. So they only listen to Daniel. I promised myself that I'd always be there for Malaya and the kids, and I'm holding that promise. Boy, that didn't last. Right? One second. Daniel says media is not giving the full story. Helicopters can't fly at night either, only drones. I can't go into the drone technology either. I was urged not to. What the fuck is he talking about here? Well, Wade said he called him Dan. Yeah. He is Princess Bello. Do you hear what he says there? I can't go into the drone technology either. I was urged not to. You know, sometimes I have a urge to put my foot right up your ass, Daniel. Allegedly. That's the urge that a lot of us, in my opinion, get. Yeah, Officer Doofy. Don't disturb me while I'm cleaning my room.
Hello? Hello? I said don't disturb me while I'm cleaning my room!
Yeah. That's the only time Daniel seemed to clean his room right there. That's the only time when he took the vacuum to the room. I know, Candy. I know. I tell the truth, but I can't comment on anything that will harm the investigation. Sherry, yeah, don't disturb me. Probably the drone's recording the area with night vision and heat. He's just dumb, probably has some paranoia that the imaginary drones are following him and Janie. Well, I know Janie does. Yeah, crazy buck, exactly. Exactly. You don't want to. You don't want to know. You really don't. Daniel says, I love her more than anything. That will never change. I'm waiting for the chance for to relive our first date over the waterfalls and walk on the Big Island beach with the Daniel you first met. She will know what that means. What do you think he's trying to do? What do you think he's trying to do here? Thank you, Butterflies. Oh, damn. What's that link for? Oh. Let me see here. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Look at this. Laughing Kookaburra. Kookaburra sits. What's that song? Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Is that what it is? Okay. But here, remember what Daniel said to the reporter right after Malaya vanished or left, not vanished. He said, Malaya's going to blame everything on me. And then he tries to get in contact with her and he wants someone to send her this message. Trying to manipulate her back. That's what Belinda said, I imagine. But I can't go into that because timelines are part of the investigation. Well, listen, Dum Dum Daniel, if you are innocent and have nothing to hide, then guess what? The timeline of Jack and Lily walking out really helps the case of you talking, right? I'm sorry. We had the right. Okay. To add to the events taking place, I know I must battle Malaya in high profile court case for custody of Meadow. So you're right, Sonny. Things just didn't stop getting worse after Lily and Jack went missing and continue to increase. The main reason I decided to push forward with this is because, with the information I've received from investigators, the blanket information I've received tells me I need to accelerate the word, not because I have any involvement with the blanket, but because of information received. The case lacks clarity when it comes to long form details. The small details it lacks, such as behind the scenes Amber Alert details or details on the fashionable exit Malaya made, or miscommunication of there being two pink blankets. I drove Lansdowne Road. Listen to this. I drove Lansdowne Road the morning of the disappearance. I never seen the blanket in the tree. I was on full alert. I've never even seen the exact location of the boot print on the pipeline. I've only seen pictures of it at briefings. I have every detail surrounding it, such as the exact boots they had on when they were purchased and examined for true accuracy assessment. I have all the knowledge on everything surrounding the case from others working on it. That's another reason I didn't display any longer form messages or interviews. I worked on and gathered a more complete take on the disappearance. I'm sorry to say this, too, but it's been 3 long, hard months. If I don't know, if I don't know, one will. I don't know what that means. People will always target me, but I've given the most to the public on the disappearance. No one can take that away. No one remembers at the end of all the shorter interviews. I always said, if you have information, please come forward to the RCMP or local police detachment. I've done that many times. Well, that's what you're fucking supposed to do, Daniel. I know local news isn't targeted towards younger audiences, but Sonny, I truly tried to make a difference. I put so much out there and stress levels so high that yes, there is inconsistencies. There is bound to be. I'm not a robot. I'm a human. Kiss my ass, Daniel. Kiss it front, back, and to the side. You are so full of it. I can't even. You don't say inconsistencies. You say buffoonery, right? Right. An inconsistency, right, is I heard Lilly in the kitchen, and then I heard Jack in the kitchen. That's an inconsistency. Not, and then someone came into the trailer and took Jack and Lilly, and Jack couldn't reach his coat, so someone had to get his coat and take him out and say shh to the dogs. That's not an inconsistency. Right. He is. I need a BP pill tonight. I don't take them, and I'm so mind blown. Yeah. It's bad. I can't even get into that one tonight. I can't even get into that one tonight. Those are from the ex-girlfriend. He is so full of shit. I just can't. I don't even know like where to start with this guy. Like, truly. Hold on 1 second. 1 second here. I want to play something. Exactly, Gina. Listen to this. 11. Wait.
Point.
I was actually told by commander of operations. The guy's name is Josh. And he was actually pretty pissed about where they left it. They left it right at the bottom of Lansdowne Road when they left.
Oh, he's gonna.
The blanket in general.
Well, let's rewind then. So there's been a lot of confusion that you had denied that the blanket in the tree was Lily's that ended up being Lily's. Was there another blanket that was found out there?
There is actually another blanket. There is a full pink blanket. I was shown a picture of it, splayed out on the ground. Officer Karen Mason showed me that. She was involved in quite a bit of the, just back and forth stuff between the command center and me and Malaya and mom and, some of the people involved, and just trying to relay information, keep us up to date and stuff like that.
And this pink blanket that they found, was it something that they found close to the house or?
I'm not sure the location where it was found. There was a pink blanket. There was a water bottle. There was a children's T-shirt, and there may have been a sock or socks too, shown me as well. But none of them belonged to Lily's, right? I mean, none of them were Lily's. None of them were Jack's.
Do you know if all those items were found at the same place, or were they found?
You see, he catches himself right there.
I'm not sure where they were found.
He catches himself right there. You see, none of them were Lily's, right? None of them were Lily's. None of them were Jack's.
I was just told that, are any of these items Lily and Jack's? We found them during the search.
Were they photographed together?
No, they were not photographed. They were photographed individually.
Okay, so most likely then they were not found together.
Yeah.
And around what time was this blanket, the full one that didn't belong to them? When was that one found?
That was found, it would have been during the daytime. So, because I remember I was actually standing on the front deck when she brought her phone up to show me. So that would have been sometime during the day. So I'm saying between noon and 4 p.m. probably.
So at 4 is when they found the pink blanket that was Lily's. That was a portion of the blanket, correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure on the exact time on that either. It would have to be after 4 because the school bus goes up there around 4 o'clock.
Gotcha. And
because that school bus, it goes up and it actually goes up.
Are you sure about that, Daniel? What time did our document say? I've got it here. What time he says the RCMP found those blankets. I can't remember. I'll have to look. Every time he's lying or tries to deceive you of something he says right after I'm trying to convince you.
Up and turns at my Uncle Ron's house, which is about 500 feet past where the blanket was found.
Gotcha.
So, and the bus usually goes up there, and the bus usually makes its way up there around, I don't know, 3:55, between 3:55 and like 4 o'clock.
And this bus has cameras, correct?
Yeah, the buses do have cameras. When they read,
I thought this was it. Hold on. Well, that's the Malaya part. Right here.
the footprint in real life.
You planted them. I find it weird. I don't understand why somebody would
Print in real life.
Yeah.
So, I told investigators this, and I've never seen the actual blanket hanging in the tree. I've never seen that.
Gotcha.
So
when is the next day comes,
Okay.
searchers are out there.
Him and Janie give two different trees. And if you was so involved in this case, like he says he is, right? He's so involved in this case, he's doing everything he can, but he's never went to see where the footprint was. Boy, I would.
How long are searchers on the in the area searching for Jack and Lily?
for the first initial search, I think it was like 6 or 7 days. I'd have to re-look at all, or look at all the actual how many days they were here for, but it was 6 or 7 for the first initial search, and then they came back the next weekend.
The first 6 and 7 days, and like the first, they looked for a full 24 hours straight. By the way,
And they did that search as well, and that doesn't include when the dive teams came in. I talked with those guys after they were done finishing Lansdowne Lake and some of the ponds and the streams, and they assured me that there was no evidence that the kids were near any water.
well, exactly. He never saw it in the tree. How did he take it to us to show the exact branch? How about that? Exactly. How did he do that? Tell us, Daniel, please. Good night, Sherry Lynn. It's 12 o'clock. Damn, I didn't realize it was that late.
Interesting. And your property, I know it was recently searched with the cadaver dogs.
Yep.
How many times has it been searched by the search team and the dogs, whether it was the first time they were out there or second, third? How many times?
The amount of times the property was searched was, I can't even put a number on it, Daniel, because it was constantly new people coming in and walking through the property. Like for the whole time, there was just new people coming in.
Sherry.
I mean, there's
Deborah,
the amount of ribbons I see.
Deborah, I can 100% promise you right now. Picture this. Sicily, 1912. Sorry, I was giving you a Golden Girl pun there. I can tell you, I can promise you, Daniel is watching me right now. He's in his bedroom, and he's got a lamp with the lampshade off right now. And beside his bed, he's got all of his rugs lined out, and he's doing this, and he's cussing me with every name in the book. That motherfucker don't know. And Janie is sitting with Tucker right now, watching me. Aren't you, Janie?
This nicotine patch for an hour, and I'd still sell you in for a smoke. Come on back to my place. I want you to look at a urine sample. I think it looks cloudy. It's been so long since someone touched me.
So yes, if that answers your question. Janie is sitting with Tucker right now, and she is saying How do you know all of this? How does this kid know all this? I live up in Nova Scotia. And how does he know all this stuff? He lives in a different country than me. How does he know my dog Tucker loses his hair? How does he know? How does he know? Aren't you, Janie? Good to see you, girl. Good to see
Be around. It's in the thousands in Lansdowne.
Gotcha. And so they're coming in, they're searching the property. How long before you're brought into a police station?
I was brought in. I don't remember what day I was brought in
Back with Jane.
because all the days mashed together.
Mhm.
But I was
It's
brought in
coming.
by two investigators that
coming.
were originally on the case.
Okay.
And I haven't seen those guys in
Progress,
a
Jane.
while now.
Progress.
We'll say that.
Yeah.
But those two original guys took me in, and we went into the Stellarton detachment, which is in Pictou County, not the Major Crimes headquarters that's in Bible Hill.
Mhm.
But I sat in the room with them, and you know
Tell us.
they bought me some food and some
Listen to this.
coffee, which we know why that was for, right? Collect DNA.
Collecting DNA. They wanted that DNA, didn't they, Daniel? They wanted that little DNA from you, didn't they? A little sample. Little sample.
Yeah.
And you know they never had to ask me for any of that. I was willing to give them everything.
Right.
But yeah, we ran over the timeline the 2 days prior, and I drew them a map of everywhere I went during the search, and also we just talked about everything that led up to where I was that day, sitting down talking to them.
And was this after that you and Malaya were no longer in communication?
Yeah, this was after that. Yeah.
Okay. And so, did you drive in there on your own? Did they pick you up?
No, they actually whenever they needed me, they actually came and got me.
Got you.
Because they wanted to know for 100% that I was coming or not, or so they always came and got me. Like I was with them every day for the first.
He's
quite a few days. Like I seen them every day.
Remember, they did a 4-hour interview with Mr. Mattel. He showed him his notebooks. Yes, he did. Showed him so many notebooks. I think it's coming. I think Malaya thinks that she's probably going to get out with it scot-free, but yeah, BFFs with the RCMP.
That wasn't my first interrogation, though. I wasn't sitting in the Stellarton dispatch.
Was it?
Or Stellarton department. That was my very first actual audio recording with them. Was the second day of the search before Malaya left. I actually.
Oh, and guess what? That's the day Major Crimes came in, Daniel. Isn't it? That's the day Major Crimes came in. I honestly don't care if she gets off scot-free. I think Malaya has, in my opinion, it would be injustice if Malaya got off scot-free. Again, I believe, in my opinion, that Daniel is, I believe Jack and Lily would not be missing and would not have been neglected and abused if she wasn't with Daniel. But being scared, if you will, and lying to investigators when you clearly know, in my opinion, what happened to the children. And there went my battery. Clearly allowed it for so long. It's just not enough. There has to be some culpability with her, in my opinion.
We sat in with major crimes officers and we recorded everything that I did and everything I knew of so far up there. I mean, up until they were talking to me.
And
so we actually, during the interrogation at the Station Dispatch, we actually went over a lot of the stuff we already did, just so they could cross-reference, right?
I don't think she did an interview. I think that was
dispatch?
I think that was a rumor. I don't think she actually did an interview. Could be wrong, but I don't think she did.
What was that?
How long did that interview take? Was it a couple of hours?
The original one, sitting in the major crimes van with them, that was about 45 minutes to an hour. And then, but the actual interrogation, if you want to call it, at the Station Dispatch, that one was almost 4 hours.
Jeez, that's extensive. And
now, I don't think RCMP is being as friendly to Daniel as they once was. Thank you, Wendy.
So you walk in there, they're asking you some questions for 4 hours. Do they ever get accusatory?
No, not at all. I was completely cooperative with them. And
doesn't matter if you're completely cooperative. You can cooperate and still be a liar.
And I said, like, yeah, we're going to come and get your phone in a few days. Do you want to sign a waiver? And I said, no, I don't even need to sign a waiver. And I threw in my phone. So,
so when did they pick up your phone? Was it that day?
No, it wasn't that day. It was actually a few days after.
Now, tomorrow.
And how long did they have your phone?
We're going to get into part 2 of Daniel and Malaya's phone. Because tonight we talked about the information and stuff that they collected. But it doesn't necessarily matter if your phone is home, and how Daniel says he keeps his location and stuff on at all times, but he didn't take his phone when he was searching for Jack and Lily the first day, but he did the second day. And some very interesting stuff. We're going to get into that tomorrow.
They had my phone for about a week, and they actually gave me a loaner phone to use. Well,
the documents doesn't say a week. The document says that they had his phone for a couple days.
They had my phone, and then they brought my phone back, and they realized my little SIM card holder wasn't inside the phone. So they said, oh, I guess we're going to have to go back and get that from the tech guys. So I used the phone for an extra few days while they retrieved my little SIM card holder.
Interesting. And
yeah,
so they had your phone?
I don't know if that was all planned or not, Daniel.
Well, I'm sure they were listening.
Why would that be planned? Why would that be planned? They would just keep your phone. You sound a little paranoid.
Into the things you were saying on that phone they let you borrow.
Yeah. Well, they were free to listen, Daniel. Nothing was going on.
And so you get your phone back. I'm understanding that they went through your text messages, your bank accounts, your locations.
Uh-huh.
What else were they able to access from your phone?
Oh, they got access to everything, Daniel.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably looked. I mean, they had it for over a week, so they could have just looked through everything.
Yeah, the SIM card holder.
Did they have any questions referencing what they looked through with the phone after they gave it back?
No, they didn't. I didn't question.
The SIM card holder, is that it's like a little tray that hold your SIM card.
And them on it, and they didn't question me. They said, here's your phone back. Everything's good.
And how long was it between the time that they gave you your phone back and the time that you took the polygraph test?
I may have taken the polygraph exam when they had my phone.
Oh, okay.
I don't quite remember that. It's hard for me to remember all, because usually I'm not pulling up date to date, right? So
right.
So
Gotcha.
with that, I know you said relation about the kids being.
Actually clear that up. I cleared it up many times online, but there's still people that seem to have misconceptions on that behavior, especially at school. Actually did come to the house, and that was about misconceptions on that.
Okay.
So CPS actually did come to the house, and that was about Jack and Lily's behavior, especially at school.
Yes, a preschooler, yes, CPS is going to come to your home because of a preschooler and a kindergartner's behavior. Oh, Daniel, you are so dumb. And listen, and guys, listen, this is an actual video of Daniel's and Janie's rooster. Not really, but it's saying, "Oh, Daniel." Yes, that's Daniel and Janie's rooster outside there, that they're just waiting for it to lay an egg. They've been waiting for 3 years now. Daniel says that CPS came there because of Jack and Lily's behavior. The CPS comes for one reason and one reason only, because they are concerned of the safety and the well-being of children. That's it. That's all. Why was the card taken out? Because they were looking on his phone.
And then they were about to be diagnosed with, or be sent for the diagnosis of autism. The school wanted that, and me and Malaya wanted that as well. The main reason why CPS came out is to, give us phone numbers and give us some instruction and who could we go to.
No, watch him. He's not making eye contact right there as well. They're not there to give you instruction or anything. They don't need to give you instruction only if you are potentially doing something wrong. Number one, it is for the parents. That is what, or the caregiver. That is what CPS is there for. It has nothing to do with diagnosing them or getting them diagnosed with autism or anything like that. It has to do, and we know this because staff members have spoken out, that they were not coming to school with coats, that they got them coats at school, and that they were coming to school with bruises, and they also missed 40 some days of school.
To learn more about dealing with their behaviors.
So it had nothing
Your
to do with
behavior,
a black
Daniel.
eye.
It's your
No.
behavior.
No.
What's
I
the
know.
story behind the black eyes? Because I think it's been something a lot of people have been asking about, that there's a multiple black eyes.
Yeah.
What would you want to clear up about that?
I mean, the black eyes, it definitely was not from me. Daniel would come out and say that first.
Except he's being charged right now with abuse of a domestic situation. Except that, right, Daniel? And all of your exes say that you were very abusive.
Come out, because I know the world thinks that, and
Yeah, we do.
that's absolutely heartbreaking for me to be
Jack
accused
and-
of that
no.
stuff.
No, it's heartbreaking for Jack and Lily. Screw you.
Because as you can see, and even in the court documents, Malaya refers to as Daniel was an involved parent.
Yeah, and you said you were the one that disciplined them and they would only listen to you. Wonder why? Wonder why, Daniel? Let me find something here.
And he didn't even physically discipline the kids
Oh, you're so full of shit.
If I'm not going to physically discipline
You
them,
are so full
why would I ever abuse them? That's the first thing.
of you're an abusive motherfucker,
But
in my
the
opinion.
most of the black eyes were probably from Lilly.
Probably.
Because, and I don't want to say 100% because Jack was really clumsy too. Like when we used to take
Just
him to the woods,
clumsy
he would fall a
kids.
lot. I remember
Clumsy.
one time too, Jack ran right into the doorknob on the door.
Classic doorknob.
They would throw stuff at each other. They were quite aggressive toward
What did you
each
throw,
other.
Daniel?
Then most times when they became aggressive, Malaya couldn't handle them. I had to come home from work 4 or 5 times just due to the fact Malaya couldn't handle the kids. And that's why you can refer to the doc.
Can you imagine Daniel having to come home and discipline those kids? How bad it would be? That wouldn't be good, would it? Right? Look at this. Look at this right here, guys. Let me find it right here. Check this out. From the X. We were down a dirt road and I left my keys in the ignition when we were doing sexual stuff and my battery died. It was still light out and I wanted to go get someone to jumpstart it that night, and he grabbed my arm and said, "We will wait until morning." Yes, from him driving down a one-way wrong. That's why he got, I think, is pulled over or something like that. And we wonder why he's constantly crashing the cars, right? Because he's driving down one ways and all that stuff. Okay. He was mad that they questioned him. This is when the 2 dog RCMPs flew in to that area. He was questioned that they questioned him and said they tried to make him admit to something. He told me the same thing. He told the reporter, you could tell he was irritated, and he was mad at his mom because they were supposed to get his car from the impound that day, but she didn't bring him, so he was mad about that too. He messaged me and told me to pick him up right away, so I did. Daniel. Some weird things just happened outside. That's why I never messaged. And she says, I hope everything is okay. Daniel says, yeah, Malaya trying to throw me under the bus now. Leaked messages from her. She's backed in a corner now. Her and her mother did it, I believe, with 99.99% accuracy. And she wrote, he's the biggest liar. Daniel says, well, everything is not the best. Meadow is going into CPS custody. Malaya is losing her. CPS also turned his kids against his own kids against him. He's saying they interrogated an 8 and 6-year-old, and I guess they said I abused Jack and Lily. One fucked up day. No problem. People should know the real Daniel Martel. He's insane, and I seriously think he's a psychopath. Even he said he thinks he could be a psychopath before. He left bruises from SEX, which I showed Major Crimes as well. Those weren't, some of them, she's talking about another thing, weren't from sex. And yes, I picked him up after the dog handlers questioned him on September 23rd. He was only physical the day I went when the cadaver dogs were there. He grabbed her. Yep. Major Crimes certainly did speak to all the exes and all that. Oh, they are real bruises. They absolutely are. And Major Crimes knows it all. Major Crimes knows it all. Here's another lady. I pray she presses charges too. Esley, I don't know. Clutching his pearls and smoking his crystal. That's exactly what he's doing, Candy. Exactly. All right, guys. I'm at 2 hours and 30 minutes. My camera battery died. So I'm going to end it here. We have a lot to cover again tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining me. I do appreciate each and every single one of you. You all are truly amazing people, and I appreciate you. I will see you guys tomorrow. It's almost 1 o'clock. I can't believe that's crazy. Love you guys. God bless. Good night.